Hi Pisces, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your May 2022 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is a look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, we have the Lover's Path Tarot on the left and the Tarot the New Vision on the right. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that away, let's get started. Past energy on your side, we have sacrifice. So this is actually the equivalent of the hangman, which is usually to me a Pisces energy. I can see this playing out a couple different ways. For one way it could be playing out, it could just be saying that you might have had to leave the connection behind. Possibly because you had some career pursuits that you needed to go after, or possibly just some travel. Maybe you had to move away for school as a super generic example. But for others of you, I feel like this is saying that you might have felt like you were putting in some sacrifice to be in the connection, and you might have felt like it might have backfired in the long run. Past energy on this person's side, we have the Hermit. So this is the major arcana card for Virgo, which is your opposite sign of relationships. But if we look at the artwork here, his back is turned to the cards on his side, right? And it seems like they have a hyper focus somewhere else, right? Now, I don't necessarily feel like it's another connection at all. First thing that comes to mind is I feel like it's more of a finance thing, but yeah. So that could be, for example, if you were putting a lot of energy toward the connection, that could be why you felt that sacrifice energy, right? Because you might have felt like it was completely unreciprocated from this person. And if that's the case, like I said, it looks like they just had something else completely different on their mind and weren't even really putting any energy or focus towards your direction. All right, present position, we have illusion. So this is the equivalent to the moon card, which some people actually refer to as a Pisces card as well. But with this, what I'm seeing here, again, could be a couple different ways. One way could just be saying that you guys could be bringing some confusion to the situation. But what I feel is more likely in this case could just be saying that you're just still in a state of confusion as to what's going on with this person. So, even if you did walk away, which, like I said, it looks like it might have been possible for some of you in the past, even if you're back around now, you're still not quite sure where this person's at. But I feel like you are still feeling a pull toward this person. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Five of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. And yeah, I mean, again, we see the back turn to the cards on the left side, and then also this looks like a deep focus energy, right? So here it looks like there's some disappointment that this person's focusing on. So I definitely don't feel like they're having a good time, whatever they're going through. So there's that for what it's worth. But this could even point to lost friendships, for example. If we look at the artwork there, we see the two people walking away. We see the spilled cups, right? So it could just be that this person's going through some loss. I could even see it as possibly maybe they're just in a state of depression, right? So it could just be multiple areas of their lives where they're not really putting any energy into it, but that's what I see with that. All right. Future energy on your side, we have two cards. We have the Nine of Arrows, which is Gemini energy, and fertility. This is the equivalent of the Empress in traditional tarot, which is usually a Venus energy. So, yeah, for some reason you could still feel a pull toward communicating with this person, right? And it could even give you anxiety at this point because, like I said, it feels like you guys might be thinking, well, no matter what, I'm not seeming to get anything from this person, right? But with that, the artwork there looks like an angel's extending an arrow to her, right? Almost like nudging her to communicate with the cards on that side because we see the other arrows all pointed in that direction too. And with fertility, this is an interesting one. For some of you, this could just say that you still want to pursue the relationship, right, and see it as a long-term thing. For a smaller percentage of you, what this could even be saying, and you'd have to know what level of interaction you have with this person, because for some of you, it looks like there might not be any interaction at all. But what this could say for some of you as well is you might actually, if you have been interacting with them physically, you might find out that you're pregnant, and then you could be dreading coming forward to them with that, right? Because you're like, okay, the energy is just so weird between the two of us. How would they possibly take that news, right? So given the fact that isn't a future energy, just keep in mind that that's something that could potentially take place. So you could take preventative measures if you're not looking to go that route, at least not at this time, given the energy they seem to be in. All right, future energy on their side, we have the 10 of Swords, Gemini energy, and the 7 of Pentacles, Taurus energy. So yeah, again, we see the back turned and Pentacles. So for a lot of you, like I said, it might not be another connection at all that they're focusing on. It really could be primarily financial disappointments that they're dealing with right now. If that's the case, this could just be saying that they will be coming to an end to it soon, possibly during Gemini season, since this is a Gemini card here. But yeah, it just looks like their focus is completely elsewhere at this time. So I don't know, depending on how deep the connection is between the two of you, at a minimum, it looks like it would require some patience. But yeah, it looks like this person is definitely going through some things right now. And if that's the case, it's kind of understandable why they can't put energy into the connection, but that's what I'm seeing with that. All right, bottom of the deck. On your side, we have balance. So yeah, this is actually the equivalent of the Temperance card in traditional tarot. So seeing this come up here, this could be another indicator between this and that Ten of Swords that whatever they're going through might not actually come to an end until we get into Gemini season, which starts toward the end of May, but I'm feeling like it'd be more in June, because this Sagittarius energy here makes me think of the fact that we're going to have that full moon in Sagittarius around the middle of June. And then that could just be saying that could be around the timeline when you feel like the balance is restored within the connection. So yeah, could just be one of those things where this person's just going through it right now, and it might be a temporary thing. You might not feel like it for them, right? Because it's pretty heavy energy, but as we move into June, you might feel like the energy is starting to lift there. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here. Definitely a much more positive energy to see, at least as far as the Pentacle energies go. So yeah, it could just be saying this is one of those things that they're just going to have to clear it out as we move through Taurus season. And maybe once they're done with that, as we move into Gemini season, because they might have cleared up whatever financial issues they were going through, they might be able to put more energy toward the connection when we get into Gemini season. Yeah, interestingly enough, beneath that too, we see the 3 of Swords. So yeah, definitely looks like they're processing something for sure. Good thing is beneath that we see the Ace of Wands and also the Judgment card. So yeah, if you guys can be patient, it looks like that's at least indicative that maybe in the next month or so, energy will start to clear out. But just for the month of May, looks like they just might have too much going on beneath the surface, and maybe they're not being very open and communicative with you about what that is, so that could be making it worse on your side, where you're like, what's going on? But that's kind of what I'm seeing with the cards anyway. All right, moving on to your oracle cards. First, we'll see what we get for the Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording. What I'm looking for here is unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. Initially, I'll be looking for jumpers, but if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull cards that way. But let's see what we get. All right, and that does want to go back in the deck, and now we see what we get from them to you. Okay, and this does want to go back in the deck. So let's see what we got on your side first. Okay, we have pressure. It says I have so much going on in my life, and I'm struggling to juggle it all at once. Interesting that this card came up, because that 100% to me seems like what's going on with this person, quite frankly. I don't necessarily see that with you. Although, interestingly enough, I did mention how with that sacrifice energy, you guys might have been the ones to leave the connection behind because maybe you had other pursuits that you needed to focus on. And we do see the 9 of Arrows energy there. So yeah, for some of you, maybe you are both going through a tough stretch right now, but that's what I see there. Well, like I said, for sure, that would have seemed more like it fit this person's storyline more. But let's see what we have on their side. Okay, we have in the very near future. So yeah, nothing else, that kind of solidifies what I was feeling there. Where, like I said, it looks like right now, don't get me wrong, it appears like they're definitely going through something. and it doesn't look like they're necessarily being communicative with you about that. But taking the entire reading as a whole, I would say that as we move into Gemini season, they'll probably the conditions will probably start to improve for them. Like I said, probably even more likely around the middle of June, given that we see the energy there. All right, lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but here I'm just looking with one card, or for one card, rather, with general advice to wrap up with. All right, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck, so let's see what we got. Okay, we have flexible. There's the artwork, and the number is 19. Okay. It says teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. The Oracle's message: a tree's roots are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure like a building would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure when everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be now, willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible with you too. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. And by flexibility, like I said, for the most part, it seems like you might really need to just give them a little bit of space until possibly June, but hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, in every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go of rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? It's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but it will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas about what sort of partner is right for you. Be flexible. You'll be happy you made that choice. So yeah, pretty positive message there as well. But yeah, like I said, the main way I'm interpreting the flexibility aspect of this is, like I said, it looks like this person seems to be going through something. If they want to reach out to you about that, that's fine. But at the very least, from what we're seeing from their body language in the cards, it looks like they just might want to go through it on their own for whatever reason. And like I said, it looks like most likely as we move into Gemini season, especially given as it says in the very near future, that energy should lift for them, and then they'll probably be able to come back forward with more energy toward the connection. And like I said, for some of you given this card, some of you might be going through your own things too. Just might want support from them, but if they're also going through something heavy, then there could be that mismatch there, right? So hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.